Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the B stream for the CS Summit 6. Scrawny and Wolfie ready to take you guys through this next best of 3. And Wolfie, this is a weird one, man. Earlier today, obviously, Movie Star versus North, it was an exact replica of their opening matchup. Same maps, same teams. The decider match was the opening match. Now we go into Group C, and we get the exact same damn thing. Same maps in the series, same opponents. And of course, last time we saw Heroic take it 2-1 on Nuke, specifically a dominant 16-8 by Heroic. So as we are already deep in this pistol, let's see what unfolds here ahead of us. I think everybody should be buckling in for a good series. Elimination is on the line. Major points are on the line. And we've got Stown and Borup with a couple of kills here to take it to the 3v3. X7, he gets shut down, but Sergey's got that quick answer. Sergey has 2 kills and 100 health, just like Borup. The 2 big players here in this opening pistol. But right now it's the CTs on the actual bomb site trying to figure out where the hell Heroic have got off to. The double door swings wide, Cadian kills a man, and it is all on Sergey. He doesn't have a kit, but he's desperate for the defuse, so he's just going to try to stick it to the 10-second timer. Borup, again, just playing with his food at this point, peeks it open and closes the round. It's Heroic with the first one.
Really nicely played across the board from Heroic, really. They got that early outside control, they exploited B halls, they get an early bomb plant which puts the pressure on ENCE to make the rotation. They can't time it correctly, and the punishment comes through. It's brutal, it's swift, and it's exactly what we expected from Heroic, given the form from the previous matchup, right? As you said, they took it 16-8. They've got a 90% win rate on Nuke at the moment. They look like a very well-versed Nuke team.
Big time, man. And just to be certain as well, not only 16-8, wasn't some super CT-sided blowout. No. It was Heroic with 11 T rounds on Nuke in that first half. So I'm unfortunately for Heroic, it's like our expectations are high. You know, now they could get 8 T rounds. They could still finish the half with 8 T rounds, and I'd be thinking, but it's not as good as last time. So they sometimes you got to perform, you got to underperform in the first map so that you look better the second time around. That's my strategy.
Definitely. That's the call, is it? Just make sure you don't get 11 P-sided rounds on Nuke, because 11 P-sided rounds on Nuke just shouldn't ever happen. Yeah. There's no way 2 teams at this level should be able to get that many.
Because you're never getting 12. You know, there's no better than that, I feel. And if it does happen, well, I'll eat my words happily, because that would just be Heroic with an absolute master class. But force buy up here for ENCE, Thomas, and a Scout.
It's an interesting one. They've opted to invest pretty decently into it with these 2 rifles. Limited in their utility again, which on Nuke is such an important part of your hold, as we do see the smokes to deny outside control. The Molotovs for a fast A take, and a CZ on the other side of that smoke for Aerial. The potential to do a lot of damage, but it's going to be onto the timings. He's really got to buy some room for the FAMAS, and it's going to be Stavern with a quick double, taking that rifle out of the equation. And with X7 stuck in the heart, the smoke just starting to fade onto him, as well as Cadian punishes. This is looking absolutely brutal. Sunny and Anu, the last 2 alive, with a couple of Deagles to work with. I mean, 2 frags would be amazing just to keep that T-side economy in check, but instead, they're not going to be able to get much of anything, right? Tesses, that's how we're pronouncing it, will try and potentially look for some exit frags, but there's no need to take any risks at all here if you are Heroic. You can hold your angles, wait for that bomb to go off, and secure yourselves the early 2-0.
Yeah, nice clean start here for Heroic. Of course, we will address the fact that this is ENCE with X7. Normally, or rather lately, we've had Yumpy in the server for ENCE, but seeing, of course, as this is a Valve-sponsored event, his previous VAC ban is not going to allow him to compete. So that's unfortunate, but we address it for what it is. And we continue on, and again, luckily ENCE have still been able to show us some decent stuff, just not here on Nuke specifically without him. So 4 kills for Sergey at the moment, 1 frag on X7. The other 3 members of ENCE are still empty-handed, and that shouldn't change, at least not too drastically here in the third, because Heroic, they get to flex these weapons over top of an empty-handed ENCE.
Not a lot they could have really expected to bring into this one after the failure of the 4 spies. Sunny and Alu allowed to save themselves a couple of Deagles, some armor behind it as well, to hopefully give them a little bit of bite to match their bark. But outside control coming in early on just shows that Heroic have got such a strong read on this situation, using the smokes, taking advantage of those ranged angles early, looking to exploit that firepower advantage that they have gained for themselves as Tessus starts to line himself up a couple of smokes, expecting that Mac 10 to be the first in, and indeed it's going to start pushing in towards lockers and in towards hell, and potentially even look to form a wrap as he's making his way up to heaven. 3 CT players pushing in towards hell. Meanwhile, this is going to get messy very, very quickly because there is a lot of CT presence to work on.
Yeah, it's pretty kerneled inside of these bomb sites. You know, Heroic, they can take all the room they... That's the interesting thing about Nuke. You know, you can take tons of map control in terms of outdoors, but eventually you have to go inside. And once you get there, well, CTs can definitely be tucked into a large collection of angles. What is that Molotov, Cadian? Look at that bad boy. Oh my god. So his Molotov actually bursts in the little lip of the ledge. That actually burned the feet of Tessus. The reason Tessus fell down onto the A site is because the molly was killing him through the ground. Then Cadian actually loses on that heaven control, and suddenly all that you have left are 2 Ts down on the bomb site. Sergey's got an AK. There is a possibility of an upset here, but they've got that bomb back, and Borup, they just want to skate away. There's still time to sprint to the B site, but they have to run now. And seeing as they're in the vents, they're going to do exactly that. It'll be tough for Sergey to chase them, but that was a weird, wild situation made possible by a wacky Molotov. So this third round was odd, and it's not quite over.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that Molotov before, but it is Sergey in the 2-on-1. He has got a single flashbang to work with. Problem being, he's not expecting this at all. The backstab's going to come in, and Heroic will bail themselves out somewhat. 3 frags to ENCE in the round, and a real opportunity for them to do some damage. I think potentially if you see the push ever so slightly earlier, then there's a world where that round goes completely differently, right? The bomb was up on A. There's a potential for a contest there, and with an AK-47, you'd almost back ENCE to try and make something of it. Instead, they do fall at the wayside, still with those 3 frags, keeping that T-sided economy honest. You can see it on a few of those players, nowhere near as much bank as you'd expect from a clean 3-0 break, and that's going to be what ENCE are going to look to exploit here. They've got the AWP in the hands of Alu. He's forced onto the glass cannon, and the teammates on the rifles behind him as a 3-man squeaky play is going to come through early, and Aerial is just going to punish brutally. First headshot onto Tessus before he can even respond, and the rest of this T-side looking for a dive. Vent control established. With Borup on the lurk, it's going to be difficult for this CT side to rotate on down.
Yeah, it'll be a weird one, but Cadian, he's trying to block off the entries from ramp. Slaps down X7 with the sniper. It's down, trying to find a safe spot to plant, but he's being pressured. These CTs definitely forcing the gunfights out from ramp room. Down now without control of the decon. You don't want to plant this because it's going to throw his teammates into a sticky situation. Alu keeping his head on a swivel, doubles it back towards ramp. Down, he's crept back through the doorway. Aerial's right on the other side, and oh, Down, he gets both kills. Alu was that omnipresent threat on the side of ramp room, but they get away from it because the 2 players who dropped vent both died as Down. He is the player that just bailed them out of a really tough position, and although this round's not over yet, it would take something special from Alu.
And they're reading it so well. Down already watching for the push, already knowing where this is likely to come from. It's going to take a near enough miraculous play if Alu even wants to commit to it. At this point, with the bomb so far gone, with so little utility to work your way through all of those tight corners, all of those nooks and crannies where T-sides can just sit and wait for you, he is going to resign himself to the save, resign himself to that 4-0 start. Heroic, though, it's not without loss. 3 players going down to enable that round and needing something a little bit special from Cadian and Stown down on that B-bomb site to make it work. I think there are definitely some signs of life on the CT side from ENCE. They've looked pretty solid, and it's just been those last couple of frags to really give themselves an opportunity on retakes that they've been lacking in.
Their chance there was killing Stown. You know, Aerial, it kind of gets a little bit separate. He's unable to trade the player right in front of him, and that gave Stown the moment that he needed to just recompose and hit both those clean headshots. Because if they kill Stown, then all of a sudden Alu can commit to the B bomb site. He can come and join them on top of the bomb itself, which would have been dropped in decon. So you're absolutely right in saying, like, there have been moments here for ENCE. Even with lackluster guns, they got them kind of flustered on the A site once. But Alu, he drops a shot towards ramp. This is going to apply a lot of pressure to X7, and he only has that deagle to play with. He actually gets tagged up through the wall, and TeSS able to cover here. 2 kills for TeSS, and, well, maybe a third. There's a player inside of the control room. The bomb's gotten slowed down, but this is still Heroic in control.
Nice shot from Aerial. That's really made it viable now. 3 on 3. Stown aware that he's got to make his way through these vents, clearing his corners well, but there's pressure on this bomb plant now. Still plenty of time, of course, for the T side to make something of it, but Sergey, he's been lurking in these vents for a while, and I'm not too sure if Stown will necessarily expect this. The spam will give away his position, and potentially they can start to clean things up now. Stown with the frag will take out Sergey. The UMP looking to trade and will find it as well. Aerial with a mastery of that spray down. 2 on 2. Alu's still alive with an AWP, and that bomb yet to be planted. Cadian looks to get aggressive with the tech and just drops the bomb at the feet of ENCE. And now Borup, there's no way. It's not going to happen. Alu with a brutal quickscope gets ENCE on the board, and there was some fairly fundamental mistakes there from Heroic.
Yep, I agree with you. I'm not quite sure what Cadian was up to. It seemed like he was very confident that Aerial would have still been in control room. I mean, just swinging the doors wide, and not just swinging the doors open to take a fight, but swinging them open and sprinting in exposed him to Aerial fully, and he wasn't even looking the right direction. Now, there's definitely a chance that he was, kind of cornered and rushed because of Alu's op that has been consistently finding damage down that ramp. So maybe we didn't all piece it together there, but that definitely seemed like a bit of a panicked moment that finally allows for ENCE to break through. And it's a great round for them to break through because the economy for the Ts has not been great. They haven't had a successful overhead win. Only 2 survivors in their last 2 rounds. And now, obviously, the CTs, they bottom out those bank accounts. So Nico, is relegated to the Deagle. And the rest of the Ts just group up in lobby here. Another ramp room hit, perhaps.
Looking like they want to try and take that for sure. 3 players queued up. A couple just waiting for the late play from the CT side. But it's going to be early pressure. X7 forced off his perch and down into the depths of the B-bomb site. Will give some map control for this T side to work with. But counter-aggression's starting to come through now. Sunny checking up on outside. And actually, the T side are going to bail out of that early control. They're going to start to loop around right towards where Sunny is watching. They've taken their way all the way back to the A lobby. Potentially looking to take out side control with 40 seconds left on the clock. This feels like they're playing with fire. Borup's been left perched in B, just holding that ramp push and with a scope absolutely locked onto him for Alu, but there's only 30 seconds left. They've got no smoke for this. It's a lovely headshot from Nico on the Deagle that perhaps makes this viable. Alu, the next problem towards outside, towards that red box with an AWP, and there's only 20 seconds left on the clock. They have really got to go.
This is crazy. They are really leaving this one down to the final few seconds. X7 in the B defense. Oh, he lets 3 players cross. Nico's able to cover that one. Aerial's going to try to swoop in now. And it's TeSS to give cover. So the bomb plant comes in with like a second to spare. The crunch onto that B site. Oh, that is beautiful. It affords 0 time for ENCE to actually get players in rotation. So it's really just a matter of whatever they have in position at the moment has to be enough. But because everybody for Heroic was on the same page, they slipped down into B without a moment's notice, and they killed everybody in sight. X7, just that one. If he gets the collateral spray down with the M4A1S, then suddenly the whole round, the whole outcome is up in question. But for now, it's Alu with another ensured save and an op for them in the next one. Heroic right back in control. A single round for ENCE, an anomaly of a CT side so far.
That's one of those rounds where I find myself internally screaming at about 20 seconds when they're just full sending it down towards B, right? You're just thinking, this can't work. It physically can't. There's no time. They can't cover the bomb. Surely not. But Heroic, they just make it look easy. They clear out all their corners. X7 not quite able to capitalize, only gets 1 before the trade. And exactly as you said, it was so late, it was so unexpected. ENCE didn't have the time to get players there, and then they were almost caught with the red mist in their eyes of, oh, we can just deny the bomb plant and the round will be ours. They kept aggressing, and Heroic had an answer every single time. Now, that pressure really on for the CTs, because as you said, that round was an anomaly. It's 5-1. The response was immediately there, and if they can't win this one, their economy's gonna be in trouble. Sunny, the first point of contact, spots the shoulder and lines 2 of them up. 2 quick headshots. Cadian desperate for this refrag, but already into the 5-on-3. The risk surely outweighs the reward. A dink onto Borup. He still finds the shot, though, and this is where these lurks become everything. Stown needs multiple frags. He lines up the first, and now 3-on-3. This is by no means done.
Stown has incredible headshot accuracy. We saw it down in Decon in that 1 versus 2 where he needed to get the frags to exit up to A. And we see it now again here in a crucial 3v3 type situation. And speaking of headshots, I mean, it would be unfair to not mention those of Sunny. When the M4A1S can line up bodies like that on an angle, sure, it has a slower rate of fire than the M4A4, but the accuracy, dude, just so many headshots coming out of Sunny this round. And Alu's going to get one of his own right into the second kill as well. He sees exactly what's coming his way, and he sweeps it all under the rug. So that anomaly of a CT side, yeah, it's just doubled itself. 4 rounds back and forth without consecutive round wins. Heroic, yeesh, economic turmoil. They're going to be able to buy, of course, but it'll have 2 players with some shortcomings, and again, everything on the line. The CT side, they're doing good in going back and forth right now because their round loss bonus is still staying there. They've got two instances of bonus at the moment. And if they lose this one, that means they'll be able to bounce right back up. It's one of those weird situations where the CTs can actually survive this back and forth economy game longer than the Ts for now.
Okay, X7, good tag onto the second as well. Aerial punishing the outside control, and this is more like it. This is your CT side on Nuke in a nutshell. 3 quick frags. Sunny already looking for the frag, but Tesses will at least line one up before he's taken down. And Borup, well, he's thrown into the 1v4. Sergey wants to get aggressive, spots him out, but goes down nonetheless. And this one should be a done deal. Borup just looking for the damage that he can potentially get with that bomb out in the middle of the ramp as well. Life not looking good for the T side, and ENCE already with a 3rd round on their CT side. They only managed, what, 4 in the previous meet between these 2 teams? So it's looking good already.
Yeah, not bad, right? 75% of the way there. But of course, this just means that we're going to probably have a much more normal Nuke game on our hands. You know, Heroic, they're still showing us some excellent things. The individuals are showing up on both teams for the moment. And it's just been ENCE to figure out the last few. Now, on this B bomb site, you got X7 just sitting in the middle of the ramp. It's a nice off angle, but ooh, Borup, he just got wind of it. Oh my goodness. Borup, he's going to go ahead and plant that bomb off of it. Now he can get into a strong post plant as well. The double doors, they open. He sticks within them. Alu, he blindsides him though, so that one's that. All wrapped up from ENCE. 2 survivors. And that right there means ENCE take their 3rd for sure, moving the AWP and the AK into the next one. We've got a slight tech issue that will be quickly resolved, so time for a pause here, folks.
That one really important as well because it's put Heroic's economy on a kilter. They went for the buy there, it doesn't work out, and now they've got some big decisions to make. Expect to see a half buy as soon as we do get back into the action, but I think for ENCE, this one is looking a lot more promising than their previous attempt at Nuke. I think Heroic may have just gone for the comfortable pick, right? 90% win rate. We've beaten ENCE on this before. Let's just go there again. And clearly, ENCE have done their homework. They're starting to work out this T side after a rough start, sure, but they're getting back into it now, and they've given themselves an opportunity to start stringing together what could be at least a plausible CT side, right? Yes, they've already lost 5 T-sided rounds. I'd say 6 is probably a perfectly acceptable T-sided half on Nuke these days, so Heroic most of the way there, but we all know they're going to be hoping for a lot more.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they'd like to just take control of it, right? Don't forget, ENCE, this is the team. This is the team that beat Astralis and ended that Astralis Nuke run at, I believe, last Madrid, 2019. I mean, Nuke was one of their go-to maps when they were in their prime, when they were rising to success after their major final showing. And therefore, you know, the idea of what was the final score last time? 16-8? That just doesn't sit with me very well. That's not the ENCE I came to love. That is not the ENCE I know. So let's get something a little more par for the course, where Heroic have already done enough, of course, and with more gun rounds inbound for these T-sides, there's bound to be a couple more victories, you'd think. Unless we get that total, utter shutdown from ENCE. If they could string 7 more together, unlike Vince, I would actually eat a boot.
Well, they're going about it the right way here. 4 quick frags, make it 5. It's clean across the board. And I think importantly as well, it's the SMGs. It's Aerial and X7 farming 4 kills between the two of them. And that's going to build up the bank. That's going to give ENCE a little bit of a cushion to fall back on as we do see Heroic going for the buy again. And as you said, you're not realistically expecting a clean sweep of this half. You're expecting Heroic to at least be able to string a few more together, given how good they look. So being able to fall back on a decent CT economy is going to be crucial. And so giving themselves that opportunity now, and it's a question of can they keep the defense up with these 2 SMGs.
Cadian half health early. Lots of utility being thrown around the map. Molly's in through the rooftops vents. And there's the opening kill. Aerial, he's actually good for 2. Sergey on hut door. And Mini also shutting this down. So an attempted A split with 2 players squeaky, 1 hut, and 1 Mini. Everything gets shut down. Nico now, last man to show us anything. What's he got? We've seen Heroic in a couple of these moments piece something together, make us inch closer to the edge of our seats, but such little HP after his fight versus Sergey means Alu swoops that one into the bag of rounds for ENCE, which means we're all tied up at 5, Wolfie. Tied at 5. It was that 5-1 start to the 5-5 tie. Everything under control here for ENCE. This is a much better showing than the last time, and it's only going to improve if Heroic only have buys like this.
Heroic, they made the right call as well. They put the pressure on towards Squeaky. They tried to isolate Aerial, who had the UMP, but a huge double kill comes out, and you want to believe in Nico. He was the hero of their last time they played on Nuke against ENCE. This time, though, it doesn't work out, and as Heroic drop down onto the pistols, looking like an explosion in towards this A bomb site, they'll be hoping for a miracle. CZ up first in Borup, and he'll find 1 before the trade, but Aerial locking it down with 2. Buying time for the rotation, although Alu takes the dink. And now 3-on-3, Sunny really got to lock this. He's seen the bomb, he knows it's out in the open, he's tapping away for the first. And this is starting to fall apart. It looks so promising, but Cadian, he was the flank, he was meant to be the afterplant, and he's been spotted out by X7.
Yeah, impossible for him to get up that ladder as well. So if Cadian only had his teammates a couple of seconds longer, then maybe X7 is a bit more preoccupied with the bomb site, but a very nice 2K from Sunny. He isolates the kill in the back of the site and then reacts very quickly to the vent player who tried to peek him, you know, so there was definitely moves being made here by Heroic, and you can tell by the remaining health for 2 of the players from ENCE, this could have gone the other way. Even with the lesser weapons, this could have been a Heroic win. It won't be unless Cadian pulls out the most ridiculous P250 kills we have ever seen, especially with X7 very safely tucked into the upper rafters. I mean, poor Cadian, even when he comes out from Mini, there's no way for him to even see X7, and Sunny's going to get the info. So Cadian, ooh, he even takes a bit more damage, making the job easier for whoever gets the next shot at him. He definitely also wants to die. $2,500 is not going to be enough for him to buy, so get in there. Come on. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to get on with it as well. 10 seconds. There we go. Finally, X7 takes him out of the equation, and for ENCE, they get the lead at 6-5, and their CT side is showing some serious legs, so we're going to see the timeout coming in from Heroic. Looking at their cash, they can get this buy together, but clearly they're going to be delving a little deeper into the strat book than they had to on their previous run, and it's going to be a question of how much depth they've got, right? When do they reach that last page and suddenly they're out of ideas? Because right now, ENCE, they look like they went home, they did their homework, they worked out how to contain Heroic, and they're applying it beautifully.
Yep, absolutely agree. This is just a strong improvement from ENCE. And if we go ahead and take a good look at the group, scrolling. What do we got here? Let's see. That's right. ENCE 2-1 existence to stay alive in an overtime game on Nuke. So that was actually an incredibly wild ride versus another set of Danes. A lesser set of Danes, we'll say. You know, the recently acquired Copenhagen Flames lineup, having lost Farley as of late. So that was a team that's kind of in a little bit of a tumultuous period. And even that went to OT. So for ENCE to come out and just swing for the fences here, possibly still gunning for that 10-5 half, well, this is awesome. This is the time that they have to show their best selves because, again, elimination now on the line. They've always had that second chance in the back of their mind until today. And right now, they're performing well under pressure.
Side control looking to be the aim of the game for Heroic. This off angle from Sunny, though, could be everything. They're pre-firing the AWP, and he's going to get a freebie. Cadian aware of it, but look how many angles he's got to clear as Aerial flashes himself through, gets one, gets the second AWP down, and I think ENCE, the secret is get aggressive. Stavn finally able to get something, but Sunny immediately there. Again, the response so good. Nice shot from Tessis to bring it back into the 1-on-2. And maybe if he can isolate a fight. If he had the bomb on his back, I'd feel so much more confident, but it's so far away. And with the timer at 45 seconds already, he has got to spend a lot of his bank, a lot of that remaining clock, clearing the angles back towards spawn to get his hands on that bomb.
Yeah, Tessis was the second highest rated player on Heroic in the previous matchup between these teams, only under Stown, who dropped that 1.46 plus 29 across the series. On Nuke specifically, it was Nico at the top and Tessis right behind him. So he is a key piece to this, and he has just managed the kill to X7. Now he's going to run and grab that bomb. 15 seconds. Does he have time? No. Unfortunately, he doesn't. I don't think so. Even if he were to sprint out from Hut, not clearing a single corner, he could go for the plant. But Sergey, I mean, he's just going to have to get the easy frag.
That's really unfortunate. It looked like for a split second, I think if he's gone ever so slightly quicker there, then you completely back him. He's found the first shot. Clearly, the aim is looking on point. But ENCE, they get themselves out of trouble yet again, and it's going to do wonders for their CT economy as, again, Heroic are making awkward decisions. They're going down onto these pistols to try and make something of it, but ENCE have been resolute in their defense. They've done a fantastic job of using their utility, of buying time and rotating players to the right places in the right moments. It really has been a completely different look to the last attempt on Nuke, and now they've got an opportunity to make it even more. A fast play towards outside, going to be punished by the nades and punished by Sunny through the smoke as he draws first blood, although Stown is able to trade, and I always get worried when I see him on an AK-47 because he has got the potential to rip some heads off. X7 spotting him out, perhaps wisely opts to fall back and wait for the support lines because Heroic, well, they're fully committed to B.
Yeah, they're right on the cusp of this. They have feet on each doorway. Ooh, nice Tech 9 damage coming out of Borup. Tessis helps him for that first frag, but he is now close enough to grab these guns. And Sergey, he walks unsuspectingly into the tippity-tap of the Borup Tech 9. And he wants another one. Aerial's going to shut him down, which leaves Aerial in an oddly winnable clutch. Tessis has health and a gun, but Nico and Stown barely alive, and he finds the back turn. Oh, a very real chance. If he snapped that head off of the player in dark, he damaged Stown over on Decon. That was scary close.
There was 8 HP remaining between two players. You wanted to believe. You desperately thought this was doable, but instead, it goes the way of Heroic once again. And once again, it's Stown, right? With that last headshot, he is looking so accurate at the moment. He's only got 10 kills, but I would vouch that near enough all of them have been headshots at this point. And for ENCE and for Aerial, they're going to be in an awkward spot again. They're able to invest, sure, but there's a UMP onto X7. The utility, not as sparse as they would have hoped, and they've used a lot of it, feigning off an early rush that didn't come through. Now Sergey wants to get aggressive again, and that's been the working formula so far for ENCE. So understandable that he wants to try and take that map control away from Heroic, who realistically have got almost a firepower advantage here. I think Alu just about swings it in favor of ENCE for me.
That op plus the ump weight. Yeah, op plus ump equals 2 AKs. I think the math checks out on that one. Of course, it depends on where they use it. You know, that op is actually not in position to help with this A-hold, which is exactly what Heroic are going to put in question. Heavy presence over on Squeaky. Aerial's the first to fall, and Sergey follows suit. So that's a great start to the A-hit for ENCE. Sunny brings it back with a double of his own, and they can't get into heaven yet. So we said the ump and the op could outweigh this, but that's all that's left over here.
This is going to take a miracle, and Stown gets caught. He catches X7 as he tries to drop down from heaven, and that's a rhyme and a half. Alu left in a 1v3 with that AWP. Nothing he can really do, and apparently I can't stop rhyming. He's stuck in towards Mini. He has no idea about this backstab. They want the knife kill as well. This is going to be all on the timing. Cadian actually has to be a little bit cautious here as well. He's looking for the save, and the pistol comes out. He gets the frag, so we always talk about 3 players remaining, right? That's the sweet spot in economy. And Cadian,
the overhead win.
Maybe a little bit greedy there, but you can understand it. Alu goes down to 5 HP, will potentially be allowed to save this AWP as well, because there's no HE to dunk in towards this spot. They're going to have to face him one by one. It's understandable they want to take this AWP away. It's a lot of risk being attached to it, though, as the flashes come over the top. And with Alu's so defensive, Stan will actually catch him. Last possible second, they tie things up at 7-7. And that economy not good for ENCE either.
Yeah, that's sweet justice for Cadian, who is absolutely allowed to go for a knife kill, even if the money's not what's important. It's about the message, Wolfie. And, well, Alu, he has that sixth sense. Had a feeling someone was watching him. 5 HP, he gets away from that. So, you know, a little lesson for Cadian, but I'm sure he's the type of guy that'll laugh it off. And obviously, Heroic still in a great spot to finish this half with a bit of a lead. Not as good, not as damning as the last T side they had versus ENCE on Nuke, but still great. And anytime that you on the T half of Nuke can finish with a lead, I think you've got to be happy with the result. So we'll see if they can chew through the double ump, double deagle, single M4 setup for ENCE. This is their final attempt at a defensive hold.
Yeah, I think we're maybe been a little bit too harsh on them. After the 11-4, we were expecting miraculous things, and this is still a very good T side, and they've got an opportunity to make it even better here. A lead on the T side half of Nuke is nigh on unheard of, and they're going to go quickly again. They know they've got the firepower advantage. They just want to take the fight straight to this T side as Tesses gets the opening pick, and this A bomb site again is opened up by Heroic. Nice nade onto Stown, brings him down to 17 and potentially opens up some opportunities. Cadian nearly gets caught off guard but manages to adjust well, and that right there is the advantage of the AK. Stown with one more leaves Sunny and Sergey. Of course they're going to go for this. It's the last round of the half, but look at the utility dump. Heroic are giving them no way in.
Yeah, you want this? Come run through smoke blind. Try it. And that's exactly what's going to keep happening. Sergey, 1 versus 5, my dude. I wish you the best of luck. You know, he's got the vitality of youth on his side, but he doesn't have time. It's the old man clock that's going to tick this one down. Bomb explodes after the fact. Heroic. Good reason to be excited after that first half. 8 T rounds on Nuke. And, well, some of those moments as well for ENCE in the early portion of it could have come back to maybe swing early momentum, but that's not the case. So we leave it for what it is. Unlike our series earlier today, where the teams oddly picked their previous opponent's map pick, they now have just gone for the exact mirrored image. So, of course, we get Nuke and Train no matter what. I want to remind anybody who's currently doubting ENCE. Once we got to Train, it was the exact type of a blowout, a 16-8 for each of these teams on their own choices, and we have those maps again. There's no reason to believe that those two maps should have a different outcome. It should be on Mirage, if anywhere, that things could be different, because on Mirage, it was shocking to see ENCE drop only 5 maps before losing out to Heroic in the 2-1 series. So my eyes, you know, I'm expecting some difference on Mirage, but I think we're just gonna have to get comfortable, Wolfie, because this series should not be over quick.
Yeah, we're gonna settle in for the long run here, and I hope we get to Mirage, because I've got a good page of prep on how ENCE can beat Heroic on Mirage. So we're gonna try and make it to that third map, so I get to dump all of that knowledge on you poor, unsuspecting folk watching the stream. But for now, we've got to get through Nuke and then Train. As you said, ENCE, they looked incredible on Train, and I think we're expecting the same again. So their opportunity to really pull off the upset is now, is come out swinging on your T side. I think pistol round pretty much essential, given the sort of CT-sided nature of the map. So if they can take this, if they can start to build themselves up a bit of momentum, if, heaven forbid, if they can upset on Nuke, then they are setting themselves a fantastic precedent. But they are coming up against the Heroic side, who've looked, let's put it the way it is, incredible on Nuke.
Yeah, most certainly. On Nuke again, last time they matched up, it was Nico who went 24-12, Tesses 19-15, Stown 17-12. So those are really the 3 key pieces for the side of Heroic. We get the same situation so far here between Tesses and Stown, but it looks like Nico's been replaced by Borup for the time being, which is fine. You know, when we look at Heroic, we see a lot of young talent, a lot of possible stars for the roster. You know, it's crazy to think that, like, Nico, he's the second most experienced player on this roster after Cadian. You know, he's been doing his work in that Danish scene. He was on Heroic for the longest time, and he has shown promise over and over. So If the other stars have to shine brighter than him today, so be it. Aerial, he has looked good all half long, and now kicking off this second one with a convincing hit into this A split. It is 2 CTs surviving for the moment, and Nico, speak of the devil, is down on 6 health. So not going to get any easier here for Heroic. It looks like ENCE are going to tie this one early and take that T-side momentum.
Shot by Sunny to make it a 4v1. Tess says he's on a very long rotation into this bomb site. I don't think there's any defuse kits even on the ground to make it a reality, but he's going for the consolation prize. The knife kill onto Aerial is a reality, and for ENCE, sure, they managed to get this round. Sure, they've tied things up, but that knife kill's actually going to boost the CT economy quite nicely on that one player. It's going to give him a little bit more firepower working into the next as he does just look for the exits. Finally going to be punished by Sergey, but I think that's the exact momentum swing ENCE needed. In an early pistol round going their way, yes, Tesses can quite comfortably actually pick up a scout, some armor, and even utility behind it at this point off the back of that knife kill, but it's the early pistol their way, and I'm really excited to see what ENCE can bring on the T side.
Yeah, same. I want to see improvements. The thing is that on the last map, they didn't have time for improvement because of the very lopsided T-side start for Heroic, so this is going to be good for them. A chance to breathe. And then imagine a world where ENCE actually take this first map. Then all of a sudden, I don't think we get to Mirage. I think each team needs their map choice in order for this series to go the way we expect it. Ooh, hello, Casper. Little scout headshot over the top of the smoke into the eyes of Sunny. Looking a bit cloudier today.
Aerial's gone down to 3 HP as well. That Deagle spam through the smoke has done so much work, and this is where it really gets hairy when you've got these CT force buys. You've got a player down early on, you've got tags onto another, and the Deagles really feel lethal, so it's going to be up to ENCE to claw this one back. They've got outside control, sure, but they really don't have a lot else to work with, and Heroic are giving them absolutely nothing. They know they're a man up. They've got some unconfirmed damage onto a second player, and as Cadian is holding for any kind of aggression looping in towards B, the Halls look like they will be the target at least for a split second before the loop around comes through, and potentially Heaven at this point, a 4-man Heaven play, because they're looking for a pick. They know ENCE that they need to try and drag this man advantage back their way, but so far they're just playing Ring of Roses. Heroic are giving them nothing.
Nope, nothing at all. Can't even find them if they wanted to. 25 seconds. This is starting to make me nervous. I'm starting to sweat. But the CTs, they seem a bit more preoccupied with the opposite side of B. So Nico, he's going to come back down the staircase. And with control blocked off like that, there's a chance for the bomb to be planted inside of the smoke. It doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to actually stop the bomb plant. Aerial, he is right on the edge of that one. So he actually sticks out. He sticks out, and now there's no time. Aerial had an entire smoke to plant inside of, but the smoke didn't go far enough. It didn't actually give him the position he needed to plant. And then the angle from Decon stops bomb. No fucking way.
And that's what normally happens when you run the clock that low. That is what you normally see. Those small mistakes start to creep into your game. And that's a question of moving your crosshair, 3 centimeters further up? Then that smoke lands in the right spot. They get the bomb planted, and then I'm backing them, right? They've got the utility. They get the frags as well. They end the round with every single CT player dying, but they can't dial it in. They run it too close to the line. They fly too close to the sun, and they get punished brutally. And now, well, now they're really being put under question. They will be able to buy into this one. It's going to be a very awkward spot for Heroic because of that 5-man loss, right? You lost Nico after time. You didn't keep anybody alive, but they won the round. The CT side managed to string it together, and if ENCE can't respond immediately, then their T side is going to start going off the rails.
What a wild situation. And, you can't even fault Aerial. He had to bomb plant because of the time, and he had to work with the little smoke he had left over. He wasn't going to just change the position and completely ignore the smoke. He thought maybe it would be enough. Maybe he didn't even realize because he entered the smoke on the opposite side of it. But just enough of him sticking out to make that bomb stoppage all too easy. Wow, what a weird situation. And the thing is as well, for ENCE, They were starting to make it look good on that CT side. They did enough of the CT side, but don't forget, Heroic, they did still close that first half with 3 consecutive rounds. And now they've bounced back immediately after losing that first pistol. Cadian wastes no time besting Alu. One of the 2 guns hits the dirt here for ENCE. And what could have been the Finns running away with some early T-side momentum has been completely thrown up in the air. Thrown up into Sunny. Another shot connects here. So sure, he'll get his hands on the AK, but he's already such low HP.
Yeah, it felt like such a big risk for Alu taking that aggressive peek outside. He was so isolated. And now Sunny, already tagged up by Cadian, will be dealt with. That rifle is gone. There is nobody on the T side of ENCE who can get anywhere near a recovery. And with 2 pistols and a Galil left, Pop Flash is doing work. Players spotted out. Aerial actually able to get one with the P250 and try and breathe some life into this roster, but it's the auto shotgun. It's Borup with 2, and Cadian with 1 more of his own to secure the double digits and keeping 4 players alive as well over on the CT side of things. This is starting to run away from ENCE. This one's going to be an eco. They should be cleaned up easily, and with 5 more CT rounds required, it looks like ENCE are just starting to fall off the rails.
Yeah, the economy is now going to play against them. That's the big problem. They have to give this lead away. So Heroic, they'll be happy to rack up the cash as long as they can. Cadian and Tesses with the MP9s, they'll be the prime suspects. Ooh, nice grenade. Dunkage onto Aerial. Then there's a bunch of T's trying to pressure the top of Mini. You've got to respect the aggression. You got to respect the gull. They go for it. They just tried to make the most of the little they had to work with, but Heroic, they had good positions for it. There was even an immediate flank flying up lobby behind them. So in a world where maybe one of those CTs dies, they had the emergency plan in position. An 11th round for Heroic, a 3-round lead over top of ENCE, but the buyback here for the T's.
It's a nice play, it's a nice idea from ENCE, and the perk of it is that you're heading towards outside, you're taking the ranged fight, so the likelihood is you're running into an M4, and that's exactly what happens. They're not feeding that extra loss bonus to the SMGs, they're going down to the rifles. I know that's a weird silver lining to take, but it works, and Aerial, now looking to up the pace, will find an opening pick, and with these SMGs on the board, this could get awkward. Stavern and Borup with quick responses, though, that man advantage immediately lost and corrected. Cadian just yeets it out of the vent. There's no other word for it. The no-scope to find the frag. Alu last alive. Yeet. I was just praising ENCE, and now it's gone to pot. Alu, though, nice double spray down. This is still winnable. Borup's still on 20 HP, and this is by no means done yet.
Okay, we're watching you, Alu. What else you got? Katie? Ooh, the one-tap flick shot. Dude, Alu. 1 versus 4. Now he's got the health advantage. The thing is, he has to eventually play for the plant. So he needs to make his move. But Borup, he has just come out from Squeaky. Alu has almost found the most perfect of timing. Oh, look how close. Like ships in the night, they will silently cross. But Borup, he wastes no time. He drops down the vent. Now he's going to have an off angle. Alu, he's walking with his knife out, and that's what's going to cost him. That's the way he loses what could have been a glorious 1 versus 4. It looked like he was even going to slap back that flick shot into the top of vent if Cadian had stuck around. But little did we realize he was saving that glorious kill for the one outside. Man, Cadian, he just gets ripped apart. Nice effort there by Alu, but he lets his guard down. He pulls out his knife in the 1v1, tries to get that little bit of timing out of it, tries to juice the clock, and yeah, doesn't work out to his favor. So 4-round lead for Heroic, and again, a gun advantage.
I couldn't tell you for sure, but if I was having to guess, I'd say Borup saw a pixel and the minimap gave it away because he was certain, right? He knew that was a B play, so I'm reckoning that there was just a slight pixel gap that gave him the information, that got him that round and put ENCE in a very awkward spot. Pistols across the board now, Tech 9, CZs, P250s, and Deagles. We've seen them do the damage time and time again, but Nuke, it's not an easy map to make it happen, and Heroic, they're looking for the punishment as well on the cross. Nico with the first through the smoke, good damage onto X7 as well, and that's a perfect way to start thinning the numbers on these kind of half-buys.
Yep, definitely. Call that herd. Get rid of the weak ones. And then best the rest as fast as you have to once they decide to commit here. But they decide to chill inside of the secret stairs. They can have this piece of the map, you know. Doesn't compromise the B site yet. The reactor chamber. of a B bomb site. Sunny, a little bit of a tag here on Tesses, and he just shuts the door. Go away. Reopens the door. Hello. Now the door's open the other way. Tesses falls back into the dark corner, and his teammate tries to give cover. Sergey, nice deagle kill, but it's still the 4v2.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's a nice consolation frag. Alu with another nice consolation dink. Nico on 1 HP gets away with murder. And X7, another dink. 7 on 11 HP gets away with one more. 13 to 8. And you can feel ENCE trying to make this a reality. The shots are crisp. They're looking on good form, at least for Train. But Heroic have got an answer for everything they're bringing right now. ENCE will have the buy to potentially try and pull this one off. It feels at the moment like the momentum is just completely stalled on the T side of things, though. And I don't see any other world where Heroic, I mean, they're 3 rounds away from replicating their previous score against ENCE.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. You took the words right out of my mouth. This is it. I didn't think this is how the 16-8 could happen, but it's still a possibility. CTs, ever since that second round, since the forced buy victory, we have not even seen a bomb plant. In fact, other than the 20th round where it was the 1vx situation because of Alu's 1v4, and think, he killed 3 people in the 1v4. If he kills nothing, then it's 4 players alive for Heroic every single round since they force bought. That 1v4 attempt is the only thing that kind of shook up the economy for Heroic, kind of chipped away at the cash, but they brought that back with the result of the last round. So this is the one that ENCE need. It is not going to get any easier from here on out.
Molotov to try and apply pressure towards Cadian, but it's not going to work. He's holding his ground on that angle towards outside, and he's got the first. Misses the quick scope for the second, as Aerial at least able to trade it back again. ENCE still in the 4-on-4. 3 players queued up in towards the lobby. Borup's aggression punished by the trade, but they don't expect the second player there, and that's the bomb. Nico, the hero, once more has got the bomb in the open. The Molotov has ticked Alu down to 22. This is going to be the easiest backstab Tessis has ever had in his life. Aerial now, he's 1v3. He's spotted out. He'll get the first, but the trade is immediate. Heroic are doing all of the fundamentals. They are doing them absolutely brilliantly. And they're 2 rounds away from storming the CT side of Nuke.
Yep, absolutely. Super one-sided showing. And they didn't even need that pistol round win. So this is great stuff by Heroic. The layers there on their setup in the A site are really cool. You saw ENCE kind of in the middle of gathering their thoughts and collecting their breath and preparing their utility inside of Hut. They just did not expect Nico to be that second player. They thought Borup went for the solo Hut peek, and he did take one down with him, but it was Nico outside of the door that caught the T with the molly in his hands. So again, just a little layer of unpreparedness that cost ENCE that 22nd round. Heroic, as you said, 2 away from this. They have everything they could ask for in terms of a buy. Pause comes to a close, and ENCE are left strapped for cash. A double deagle for 2 of their players in Sunny and Sergey. And that's not the players you want on deagles, in my opinion. They've looked real good with those rifles, but maybe they can still make the hand cannons work. We'll find out.
I worry for ENCE. I feel like they need something on their T side here because they're going into Train, which sure they had success on in the previous attempt, but Heroic have surely gone back. They've watched the VODs, they've learned from their mistakes, and I feel like if they don't get a bit of momentum here on the T side of things, ENCE could be in a lot of trouble moving forwards. They will have a decent buy, as you said, those double deagles, double AKs, Alu down on the Galil, but they need this round. They really need something to galvanize them because after the pistol, it's just been downhill further and further. And Heroic, well, they've gone from strength to strength. No early contact taken this time, as instead, ENCE will fake the outside control. Plenty of players in towards the lobby. Flashbangs being lined up over the top as well, expecting a full A send here. And the T side make it stick. Fast play out. They get some early damage, but the AWP's already dropped. Borup traded 1 for 1, but that's bomb. And Cadian, he's still kicking on the site with this AWP. Alu, the next one, and they're just walking into the crossfire. Sunny can only get the first. It's done before it even started.
Yeah, they were ready for that one. And I mean, I feel like it's an element of ENCE kind of not pressuring elsewhere. We didn't have any outer hit. We didn't have a wall of smokes to put the possibility of secret in question. There was no ramp presence early at the start of that one, so it was just the full-fledged execute. ENCE knew what they were doing. Heroic knew what they were doing. Everybody just agreed to the gentleman's fight, and Heroic throw dust in their eyes right before they knock them out. Or at least they've got them on shaky legs. This final round, this could be that knockout blow. At least it's a buyback for ENCE. That round loss bonus, the only thing that's working for them. And Nico, he takes an early position here behind the red box. He's got T's passing him, 3 of them behind Big Red. And he decides not to tuck into Mini, but rather Little Blue. Sunny regains vision as the smoke fades. This could give him a position to question Mini here, but Nico, he's going to keep him honest. Then he catches 2 players in the wide open cross of Outer, and they get away from that. There's nobody else in position here for Heroic to stop it. Cadian's down in the depths of the B site waiting. TeSeS could go for a ramp flank, but that's also being held. So Heroic, they have to be cautious with their mid-round decisions right now. Ooh, Sergey. He's thinking about Hut, which Borup's about to come around from, but Stown, look, he's inside of Squeaky, and there it is. A good trade frag, and they have a health advantage big time over ENCE.
It's going to be the damage that decides this one. Aerial on 6 HP, Alu on 30. They want to split this A site, and it's going to be onto TeSeS to really make this happen. He's holding for the Heaven push. He's got low HP players coming his way. It's just a question of how many he can get. X7 will be the first point of contact, looking to use that health to make something happen. Stown spamming away, but his teammates are going in the meanwhile. It's a double for TeSeS, leaving just Alu in the 1v2 to try and save the hopes of ENCE. They know the bomb's there. They've done it. 16-8, replicating the form, and a frightening sight for fans of ENCE.
Yeah, how crazy is that? You know, it took an 11-4 T side to give us the 16-8 last matchup, and we still get that same score because of this lights out CT side. I really didn't see that coming. It looked to me, I think it looked to everybody, like after that first half, ENCE were going to improve the scoreline. It really did feel like they had things figured out, but I guess Heroic really doubled down on that defense, Wolfie, because god damn, that was convincing. All of the wild mid-round moments, but wildly enough, of course, don't forget, it's all because of that bomb plant down on B. Aerial inside of the smoke, not having the cover, losing out that second. Oh, a heartbreaker there. But again, we are still par for the course, folks. We expected each of these teams to pick up their map choices, so when we come back from the break, we will be moving on to Train, where ENCE last won 16-8 as well. We'll see you guys there in just a bit.